Hi, Blake, your friendly neighborhood DM here. So as I was editing this here video, this episode, I realized that somehow, and who knows how, we managed to lose the footage for most of the episode for Alyssa and Emily's side of the table. So just a little warning for why it looks the way it does. Thanks so much for bearing with us. Really sorry about this, but we're learning, and I think we're getting better every time we do it. But this was our second filming ever. We didn't really know what we were doing yet. Still sort of flying by the seat of our pants, but don't worry, it won't happen again. I can't promise that, but I hope it won't happen again. Cool. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Party Dungeon. This is Dungeon Party. As always, I'm your DM, Blake Peoples. This is your cast. Welcome. We're going to play a game. Before we start, I'm sure I had something I was supposed to say, but thank you to everyone who's helped make this possible once again. Yeah, does anybody have anything they want to say before we get going on this? No. Nice. Okay. Cool, so we'll get going. Let me put a different song on. There we go. Ooh. Cool, so to recap you guys a little bit. Last time on Dungeon Party, the first time, our valiant crew here all met up in a tavern, the Shimmering Scale. Yes, the Shimmering Scale. They all met each other, and interesting halfling named Brandon Toothsnatcher before a mysterious earthquake took the floor out from under them. Literally. You then spent some time fighting the earth itself, exploring the underground caves, and realizing that there is something, an entity who some of the earth beings call the Master, who is angry and is sabotaging the city via earthquakes. You were all more or less hired by Captain Sheena of the Guard to solve this mystery. Kira and Brandon went back to the barracks, while the rest of you headed towards the kennel to the Lamp's Light, a cabaret owned by the Lamplight Manifesto and their leader, Irina Dusk. And that is where we left off, so we're going to pick up right there. So, as the four of you, enter into the lamp's light, you find yourselves hit with a strong, warm smell of burning incense. You enter not into a large room, but into a bit of a foyer, decorated with maroon silks and candles floating magically in the air, suspended assumedly by the usher who's sitting at the desk. She's a dwarven woman with a scar running across her nose. She looks very disinterested in you, but as you enter, she motions and puts her hand up and puts her fingers to her lips. You can hear the sound of a lute plucking wildly as people sort of raucously yell in the other room. You assume that an act is going on right now, and she gestures for you to wait. You're not alone in this room, other than her. There is one other individual. He's a human man with a shaved head.
He also seems to be waiting for an entrance. He wears a dark blue overcoat. It seems built for function. Definitely some armor built into it. And he has a similarly colored tri-corner hat with 2 feathers in it, one yellow and one red. He holds it in his hand. He looks at you all and pulls a dark red scarf he wears around his neck. It had been covering his nose. He pulls it down to reveal a very hard jawline with a scar running from his nose across his mouth to his chin. Everybody make a perception check. What'd you get?
20.
18.
13.
12. Cool. So the two of you, as he reaches up, you can see his sleeve. It's this hand. His sleeve falls down a little bit. You notice what look like tattoos running up his arm, and he notices you see this, and he immediately pulls it down and pulls his sleeve down. He just sort of stares at you all, lands on you, narrows his eyes, and then turns towards the door. Stand there for a while. The lute music continues, and eventually ends in a big flourish. And at this point, the dwarven usher gestures her hands towards. It's not really a door. It's sort of like fabrics and beads hanging on top of each other. And the man who was in the room just ducks through it immediately and goes into the next room.
I go
We
into the
had
room.
a follow-up.
Yes.
Cool. Do I have a better playlist for this? Town/tavern. Perfect. There we go. You head in. You are met with a surprisingly lavish sight. You're in the kennel. You've walked here through the kennel, which is just like the poorest, sort of most torn apart place most of you have ever seen. This is pretty ornately decorated. It is a 2-story area, one like a large base floor with a balcony sort of up on the top, that is ornately decorated with reds, yellows, and blacks. These large tapestries hanging up from the ceiling, while magical lights placed within these large directional canisters that are made of gold but not real gold. Are pointed at a small but well-decorated and well-worn stage. As you walk in, it's very fancy, but all of the stuff here is... None of it's from the same set. There's tables that strew across the floor, but they're all of different sizes and shapes. The tapestries themselves look to be made of different artists, different styles. This wasn't all purchased in bulk. This is like slowly accumulated and put in here. Judging by who owns this tavern, probably accumulated by not the most legal of means. So yeah, most of the room is filled with roundish tables, each of them having 4 chairs. At the edge of one edge of the room is taken up by the stage. The two of them have long sort of tables with alcoves built into the side of them, like sort of like the GQ old like sneaky tables where you could gossip and no one could hear you even if they're right next to you. Which is a reference only Muhlenberg people will get. And the wall, the entrance from you're coming from, there's a large bar standing up next to you. You can see up on the balcony that there are 3 large burly men, a half-orc, a human, and a dwarf, who are aiming the light canisters at the stage. But you can also see crossbows strung across their backs, swords and knives, like they're armed to the teeth. There's also an individual who seems to be going up to each of the lights and changing them, incanting a spell and changing them. She's a female elf with sort of a bashed-in nose. She goes around and changes the lights while also polishing this like super ornate dagger. This is it's a nice place. The air of the place seems celebratory and bar-like, but you get the vibe, and you know this, you've been here before, but you get the vibe if you did the wrong thing, like you'll get fucking stabbed. The bartender, who is a bronze dragonborn with her claws painted red, does this like juggling display of her bottles and wares and stuff, throwing in like a dagger, slicing something off, and pouring a drink for like a way too drunk. Yeah, kind of, sort of Benihana's situation. It's just super fucking, this human, he like gets it, he's super drunk, and he stumbles back to his table, he didn't give a shit at all. As you enter, you see all of the tables are more or less occupied. Your friend, who is in the alcove with you, he darts to one of those long sort of gossipy tables and sits down almost immediately. You look around the stage. You can see the half orc with the loot walking off as people sort of throw copper at him. And yeah,
I'd like to go to the bar.
cool. You head on up to the bar.
I'll go with him.
Yeah, me too.
Hello, I'd like a Stormbringer's brew, please.
Oh, hey, Oliver, welcome
Hello,
back.
Good to see you again.
Stormbringer's brew. Yes,
Yes, I
we've
brought
got
some
that.
friends this time.
50 silver for Stormbringers.
Wonderful. Here you go.
Awesome. You've been here before, but for the rest of you, it's 1 gold for an endless supply of Wolftooth ale. It's not great, but there's a lot of it. 50 for Stormbringer's brew, 30 silver for Lion's Mane vodka for shots of it. If you got a cocktail you like to make, I can see what I can do. And special tonight, just in, 850 gold for a shot of burnt birch ale. Gone. Yes?
How much birch ale did you say?
She reaches under the bar and she pulls out like a bottle of it. There's maybe this much left in it. We don't have much, but we took it off of one of the drunkards who went to one of the Red Wheel brothels earlier. He's been holding on to it for years and years, and now it's ours. 850 gold for a shot. You'll not find a finer ale in the entirety of this area.
I know. It's a little out of my price range, though.
Yeah, you know, the best comes with a high price.
How much for the limited again?
1 gold.
I'll have that.
All right. Takes it. She hands you this huge tankard, pulls out this thing. It says Wolf's Tooth Ale. It's like a shitty, like, green glass bottle. She uncorks it, pours a bunch into it, and hands it to you.
How does it taste on Tapper's refined brewing?
So bad. It's so bad. It's just not good at all. It's piss. I mean, it's not actually piss, but you know, it tastes a lot like it. And for you two, anything?
Oliver Shirley Temple.
Sure. Okay. All right.
You heard of it? It's like.
Yeah, no, I'll
very
place that at
big.
3 silver, I suppose. That's not
Alright.
too hard. And she like starts working on that. And for you,
I'm alright, thanks.
all right. No, that's not really the spirit of the place. If and you want more, you've got Wolf's Tooth for the night. If you want to keep coming up, I know
Yeah.
it's not good, not at all.
No,
but
it's not good
Put
at
an
all.
extra cherry in here. Thank you.
And she winks at you.
Oh.
Looks like Cartavaccio is wanting you over there. And you turn around, you see a blonde, a good-looking human half-elf. A good-looking half-elf, dashing, one might say, with a big shock of blonde hair, though a huge noticeable scar from his cheek up to his ear.
Do I know how?
Everybody got
Yeah,
scars
you don't know him by
I feel
name,
out
but
of
you know
place.
that this is the fence for the Lamplight Manifesto. He's the guy who sells the stolen goods that they find. He's waving. He goes, Oliver, come here.
Okay. Guess we're going over there.
Alright.
We walk over.
Head over there. As you come over, he's like, oh, there's 4 of you.
Yes, these are my friends.
Good. And he looks, there's only 3 empty seats around him, so he looks over to the drunk guy from the bar earlier, just takes the seat out from under him, he boom, hits the ground and just starts snoring, and he pulls up the seat.
Alright.
Come on, take a seat. My name is Robert Carnavaccio, nice to meet you. The fence of the Lamplight Manifesto. So, if you're looking for, unique wares, I'm the guy to go to. For the best price in the kennel.
What do you got?
On me?
Yeah,
At the moment?
on you at the moment.
Not much. I came here for pleasure, not business. But
Of course you did.
in my line of work, business is pleasure. I currently have 3 things. 3 wonderful artifacts. One, a magic scroll with a spell. Containing the spell Ice Knife. You make a knife out of ice, I assume. I'm not a caster myself, so I don't know the
How
details.
much are you selling that for?
That's 200 gold.
Absolutely not.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
my second one, and this one, ooh, it's near and dear to my heart. It is, and he takes out this golden ring, he flicks it and catches it, the Ring of Sex Appeal. Now, I don't need it myself, so I am more than willing to part with it.
I'm alright.
And this final one, quite an interesting item. And he pulls out sort of like a bandana, and it glows very slightly. It is a white bandana with blue stripes across it, and a blue sun in the middle. And the blue on the bandana has this slight blue glow to it. And
Blue
Luplo.
It's a blue blow.
Yeah, this is the headband of courage. It's a bit steep at 300 gold, but let me tell you, it is worth it. It has so many features. Its wearer effectively becomes an embodiment of courage itself. You can grant yourself confidence. You can grant someone else confidence. You can destroy any aspect of fear in yourself or others, or you could make someone into a hero just with your words while wearing this headband.
How much is the ring of sex appeal?
Ring of sex appeal is 150 gold.
Yeah, yeah. Great.
Well, I'm here all night, and all the time. If you want any of these things, let me tell you, I am far more a pleasant sight than a Harkin One Eye, the groomer's fence.
Yes.
And my wares, so much better. So I'm here. I'm ready. Oh, it's starting! And he looks up towards the stage. You see, at this point, two bruised men in chains being hauled up onto the stage. They both hold a script, and they're both put up there. As they go up on stage, the crowd starts like jeering and throwing food up at them. And they're like, and they start reading a script. One of them goes, hello, oh brother of mine, I would like you to have sex with my wife. And the other one says, oh, I cannot have sex with your wife, for I want you to have sex with my wife. And everyone in the audience starts laughing, and Carnavaccio is slapping his knee, and he turns to you and says, it's Debtors Theater. They owe the manifest money. The other choice being a brutal beating, so many take this. And it's much more entertaining for all of us.
Looks like they already took a brutal beating.
Well, sometimes you get a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
And this is at Irina's command.
Oh, yes, of course.
Is she here tonight?
Oh, yes, she's going on after Debtors Theater, but I bet the word's gone around the ear here, so she might be coming out to talk. We'll have to see.
Wonderful.
And he sort of nudges you a little bit.
I finished my drink.
So, who are you? I've given you my name. Who are all of you?
Well, I'm Wallace. Nice to
Wallace,
meet you.
nice to meet you. Robert.
Yeah, I know.
The name's Tapper.
Tapper, good to meet you.
Upstart brewer. I jump from bar to bar doing research.
Oh, and you went with the wolf's tooth, eh?
I made a mistake.
Yes, you did.
I'm Millie.
Millie, nice to meet you.
Nice.
Seems that none of you have last names, but that's fine. Oliver wouldn't tell us his last name until we stole his papers that proved his royal birth, but oh, so sorry, Oliver. That's a secret I'm not supposed to tell anyone. Well, this got a little awkward. And then he picks up a tomato and he hucks it and it hits one of the debtors right in the head, and that
Can
whole
you
crowd
not do
laughs.
that here, please?
Well, where else am I supposed to do it? This is where I work. This is where I live.
Why don't you guys sit at that table over there?
You want me to leave the table that I brought you to?
Yes.
Make an intimidation check.
Natural one. Can you leave the table, please?
Your voice cracks. It goes, oh, is the magic boy feeling a little intimidated?
I get up and go to the bar.
Oh, he's got a sore spot for his family, but it has helped us out quite a bit these past years. Are you looking for work? We've got plenty of jobs.
Maybe later.
All right, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, friends with Oliver, they're always welcome in
Do
here.
you have a business card or anything like that?
No, but I should look into getting one.
Really sure that would really help.
Do you have a business card?
Not on me. Not on me.
Well, next time we see each other, I suppose we should exchange, yes?
Yes, of course.
Good.
So you said he was a royal? Do you mind?
Oh, I don't know the details. I just know Madame Dusk likes to use him because of his royal birth. He can get places where we can't.
Interesting. Yes. Very good.
Oh, this is the best part. And he directs your attention back over to the thing. Meanwhile, we're gonna cut to the other group. You and Kira and Brandon are walking towards the barracks.
That's right.
And talking. Brandon is telling you about all of his family. his sister Brandy, the one with the eye thing. She had a child recently with her husband, and he hasn't gotten to see it yet, but he seems like he's a.
Have they sent you a portrait yet, though?
No, they haven't sent me a portrait quite yet, but it happened very recently. They're going to have me back for tea next time I'm, in Nildor, which who's to say when that is.
How far away is that from here again?
That's quite far. It's the valley I'm from is sort of center to the east of Nildor, and we're pretty west in Caerleone, so 3 to 5 weeks hard ride.
That's terrible. I could never go that far away from my family.
Yeah, where are you from again?
Well, I'm actually sort of from here.
Here specifically?
Well, not Wurthanc specifically, but it's less than 2 days ride from here.
Really? The place I'm trying to get is similarly distant. Where are you from?
Hartley? Most people haven't heard of it. It's really small.
Yeah, it's not Hartley. I'm trying to get to Battlenest. And he sort of looks at a piece of paper to remind himself of what it's called.
Do I know where that is?
Yeah. It's one of the towns sort of outside Hira, which is the bigger city in your area. You've been there once or twice. There's nothing super special about it.
Why are you going there?
I've got a house. You know the big manor house in Battlenest, the old lord's house.
Yeah.
I won it. I won it in some gambling I got myself into, so I'm trying to set up shop over there.
You're a fancy guy.
Well,
Look at you with your own house.
Well, not yet. I've got to get there first, but that's what I'm trying to get your friends to help me out with once we're done with this whole situation. But, I was hoping to meet up with the acquaintance of mine who I was supposed to meet in the Shimmering Scale, but I haven't seen him.
Do you know where they're staying?
No, he's a mysterious man. Member of the Extant Sortilegium, actually. Very powerful wizard, but you wouldn't know just by talking to him. He helped me pa out right when he became a member. He's a good man. Oh, shite. He probably thinks I'm dead. We're supposed to meet in a tavern that collapsed and killed most of the people in it.
Can you send him a little message or something?
I don't know how to do spells. At your barracks.
We could stop at the post office. They usually send messages.
All right, lead the way.
Okay, so we go
Kira expertly leads the way to the post office.
2 blocks up, and then we take a left,
Yeah.
and then there's a little roundabout, and you have to go to the 3rd exit.
Kira knows Wurthanc like the back of her hand.
It's my job.
Yeah, it's her job. You make your way to the post office, and you see the late night worker of the post office, Douglas, who is like a tall, very lanky human man with bags under his eyes. He's probably 60 at this point. He's talking to an individual with a cloak on, a cloak and hood. As you walk up, Brendan goes, "What? Speak of the devil!" And then the individual turns around. You can see, and he takes his hood off. It is a thin, bookish half-elf. He has medium-length brown hair that is parted to one side, sort of like a bowl cut, but it lands on sort of the K-drama boy hair thing rather than the shitty 90s bowl cut. He has brown eyes and he has these big, large, circular spectacles, and he has a splash of freckles that dance across the bridge of his nose to his cheeks.
Like a cutie.
He's cute. He's very nerdy. He's boy next door looking. And as he turns around, you can see he has a very worried look on his face. He also looks like he could use a lot more sleep than he's getting. As he turns around, he says, "Oh, Brandon, I was so worried about you." And they sort of run towards each other, and Brandon sort of gives it a big old hug. He's like, "Oh, you're always worrying about me, Ralsinian. You know I can take care of myself." And the individual sort of says, "Now, next time you get into a situation like this, leave a message for me somewhere so I don't think you've gone and passed on." And he turns to you and says, "Thank you so much for bringing my foolish friend back to me.
Hey, anytime.
I am Avith Ralsinian. Nice to meet you."
Kira Burke, very nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. And Brandon says, "Kira actually helped me save my life multiple times yesterday."
Well, stop it.
Music stop. Sorry. saved my life many times yesterday. She's very powerful and very. She likes to follow the rules, just like you. It's like, oh well, yes, I suppose. It was very good to meet you. I'm Everth Rilsinian, member of the Extant Sortilegium, the High Priestess card, but that does not matter. Brandon, you wanted to discuss something with me, and Brandon's like, oh yes, I did, but more pressing things have actually come up. We've got a bit of a job we're on, don't we, Kira?
Yeah, we do.
I sort of zoned out when we talked about it before. Do you want to just explain what it is to my friend Averth?
So, you remember, have you been in town recently?
No, I'm
just
not from
get
around
here?
here, yes.
Well, we've been having all kinds of crazy earthquakes recently.
Oh, yes.
And it's so weird because, like, we aren't even on, like,
There's no...
the fault line between planes or anything.
Yeah, there's no rift here.
Yeah, there's no rift, which is so crazy because that's how earthquakes happen. We all know that. We learned it in school. and so these things have been happening, and it's really disconcerting because you're just, like, eating some soup, and then it's just wiggling all over the place. It's terrible. So that happened a lot, and then there was another one well, I guess it was yesterday now. It's kind of late. But today,
Oh, yes.
and
The shimmering scale is collapsed.
so we were
yes?
there, and it collapsed, and everybody else except us died.
Oh,
So,
dear.
but there were some like earth monsters down there.
Elementals.
Yeah, and apparently they're all over the place. So we have been tasked with the job of taking care of it and figuring out why they're here.
Do you have any leads? Is there...
We are going to go to Regibald. Whoa.
Regibald Will, yes, the Master of Commerce.
Yeah, because he has some of the old like plans of the city, so he's gonna help us see like what might be under there and why these things are hiding under our city. So that's where we're starting. I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Well, Earth Elementals don't generally attack cities for no reason. They tend to be quite neutral, unless they're being told to do it. This is quite odd.
Actually, there was some. Well, there were like Earth Elementals, and then there was like a Earth being, and he talked a little bit, and he said something about a master.
Oh, a master. Yeah, that would make sense. You know, you have piqued my interest, and as I'm waiting for my other companion to check in with me, I have some time to spare. Well, would you mind accompanying me to my quarters where we could discuss this? Brandon as well, I need to catch up with him.
You know what? I don't see why not.
Oh, good. And he places his hand on your shoulder and Brandon's shoulder, and you feel like this twisting in your stomach as whoom, you just disappear from where you are, and whoom, a moment later appear somewhere completely
so
different.
Cool.
Sorry, I suppose I should have warned you before I teleported us, but... And Brandon, who's like clutching his stomach, says, "You've got to stop doing that! It really just makes me very upset in the stomach region." Oh, good! And he runs off. You find yourself in a very overpacked study. There are books and scrolls hanging from every nook and cranny of this place. There are windows. It's round, but there are windows in sort of the four sides of it. But each of them reveals a drastically different location. One of them is a sort of a stormy sea coast. One of them is a beautiful verdant forest. One of them is sort of a deserty plain, and one of them is literally underwater. Which doesn't make a lot of sense, because it's not like, it doesn't look like just like pictures. It's like, you can, there's depth to this. Like, it looks like it's in all four places at the same time. And Averth goes, "Yes, I'm an illusionist by trade, and I like to imagine I'm in all sorts of places at once rather than where I am. The disclosure, the location of which I cannot disclose to you for safety. Only the members of the Sortilegium can know where the other's towers are. My apologies, I hope you'll understand."
It's okay.
Alright. Interesting, cool. So, yes, he doesn't say cool. Interesting, yes. So, give me a moment. Let me do some research on the elementals. Brandon, would you make some tea for our guest? And Brandon says, "I'm already on it. Don't worry. I know where everything is." That's a bit worrying. All right. And he walks over and he starts pulling out some books. Brandon walks in with some tea already prepared. He says, "Oh, something to note. There was talk of a fae in this situation, and that perks his half-elf, Avereth's half-elf ears right up. He goes, "Oh, a fae. Well, that certainly narrows the search down. Earth-related fae. Yes. And he goes and he grabs the books and he flips through. Well, There are only 3 Fae I could think of with enough power and a connection to the Earth that could do this. 3 types of Fae. The first is an Oread, the second a Malgoran, and the third a Korred. I'd probably rule out the Malgoran because they're far too violent and bloodthirsty for this sort of subtle approach. Not to say that earthquakes are subtle, but it would be coming directly into the city and killing things with his own hands. And unless that has been happening, then...
No, definitely not that one.
Yes, of course. The Oread, between an Oread and a Korred in this situation. An Oread is quite human-like. A being of the earth that is tied to its mountain. Which is why it strikes me a little strange for this. There is no mountain here.
But there used to be.
Interesting, yes.
I don't know how used to be, but like used to be.
Well, an Oread cannot survive off of its mountain for more than a few days. So was there a mountain here a few days ago?
No.
My guess is that it probably isn't an Oread. Also, they would be much more keen on talking about a problem rather than killing people. That leads to Korred, which fits. Korred is a small, chaotic trickster of a Fae who is one with the earthen plane. You may have heard some folk stories of Korred growing up. They have magical hair. Whatever you cut their hair with, that strand of hair becomes that. If you cut it with an iron shear, the hair becomes iron. If you cut it with a gold shear, it becomes gold. Though, there are many old wives' tales about individuals trying to cut Korred's hair with gold shears and then finding themselves cut open with those same shears. They're very fiercely protective of their hair, their themselves, and their area. That would be my best guess if a Fae is involved, though the fact that it just started attacking now and the mountain has been gone for, I'd say, hundreds of years at this point.
That does seem really strange, because if they were mad about the mountain leaving, don't you think they would be like, "Arr, you took my mountain just now"?
Yes, that would make sense. And I mean, not that we're there right now. We're not in Wurthanc anymore, if that was not clear. But there are plenty of mountains all around. Could simply move to a different one, but let me do some more research, please. Have some tea and enjoy the view. There's always interesting things going outside these windows. They also shift from time to time to different locations, which is very interesting. I'll be right back. And he goes over to his study and he starts mumbling to himself and going through. And you can see that he has this... he sort of sways when he's thinking. Like, he moves his little booty around when he's thinking really hard. He's like... Brandon comes over and he starts talking to you and having tea together. And you're just having a cool experience. You realize you're probably farther away from home than you've ever been, and you don't even know where you are.
That's so cool.
Cool.
What kind of tea is it?
It is oolong tea. I don't know. It's fire nettle tea. It's cinnamony. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cool. So we're gonna head back to
Don't be
the
mean to
other
Oolong.
one.
Didn't say anything.
I have 100 satches of it in our cabinet.
Cool.
It's a good.
At this point, back at you guys, very little time has passed. You went up to the bar?
Yeah, I order another Stormbringer's brew.
50 more silver, so that's...
And I'm gonna sit at the bar.
Cool, you're sitting at the bar.
And Lodi.
As you do, you feel a hand sort of dance across your shoulders.
Hello.
How are you, Oliver?
How are you?
It is Arena Dusk, as you're not
Yes, it
surprised.
is.
She is a tall, beautiful elven woman with auburn hair that she has into a long, ornate braid. She is wearing this beautiful red dress. And
Do any of us see a woman talking to her?
yeah, as she sort of enters the room, a lot of eyes in the room. Like, Debtor's Theater is still going on, but a lot of the eyes sort of look over to her. She's magnificent. And she sits down at the bar next to her. The Dragonborn says, Madam Dusk, what can I get for you? And she says, oh, nothing for me tonight, Waylon. I must perform in a moment or two. I just wanted to have a chat with
Nothing, that's the
our
problem.
friend here. Well, you know, I like to get drunk after I perform.
Of course.
Mm.
Yes, I heard about your performance. What are you doing tonight?
I had a plan, but I didn't know you were coming, so I might change it around.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I heard your job for Rolf didn't go so well.
Yes, we're not exactly on speaking terms.
He had to go into
anymore.
hiding for 2 weeks.
Well, that's good to hear.
I'd say keep your head low when you're in his area of the kennel.
I always do.
Good, good.
Listen, I brought some friends here tonight.
Oh, good.
Perhaps you'd like to meet them.
Yes, take me to them.
I guess we walk over
Cool.
together.
As she walks up, this beautiful elven woman in a red dress walks up. And as she walks past people, like all the drunk men in the bar, just sort of turn with their mouths agape at her. As she approaches, Robert stands up and he says, "Ah, my lady Dusk." And she just sort of like taps him on the cheek and he goes, and then walks away. She takes his seat.
I also take this.
I'm Irina Dusk, which, if you've been here for any amount of time, you should already know. And you are?
Well, I'm Wallace. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you as well. Don't often see water genasi around this far inland.
Yeah.
It's a sight for sore eyes. And you can see her sort of scrutinizing you. You don't know if she's like looking you up and down for your body or for your money, but it's something.
Suspiciously.
You're almost empty Shirley Temple at this point.
I'm
Also,
like sucking on the ice, you know, when it's like.
and as she looks down, she sees the bowling shoes that you were still wearing. Gives you sort of a look, and then looks away.
You like them?
Well, I haven't been bowling in quite some time, but different strokes for different folks, I suppose.
If you ever get the craving. I'm your man.
You're intriguing, Wallace. We should
I
have a conversation later.
I take a cherry out of my drink and I eat it.
Can you make just a flat charisma check for me?
It's gonna be 20, not natural.
She goes.
Wallace.
She like gives you another once over. This time, definitely a lot more positive than the first one. She's like, and then she sees your ass that won't quit, and she. And you,
The name's Tapper.
Tapper. No last names for either of you?
I never had one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I had to make my own.
Why is everyone here obsessed with last names? It's a little weird.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a recurring
most people
theme.
have family
Yeah.
names. Names have power.
Yes,
I got them, but I think it's weird. I think it's weird that everyone here wants to know everyone's last
well,
name.
I'm on board the
It's a little
force.
weird. That's
I
all
ain't
I'm
got
saying.
one. You stole my papers to find out my name. Don't you find that a bit weird?
I don't find that weird at all. And look how much good work you've done ever since. And she sort of pinches your cheek. Oh, you wound me, Oliver.
Millie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, I already know you. You've been in prison for quite some time here. Millicent Castle, yes?
Yeah.
I could use someone like you. With the connections you have, you could get me more than Oliver over here could.
I don't have those connections anymore.
Oh, and that's the power of names. Once you have the name, you never don't. Well, it's good to meet you. Any friends of Oliver's are friends of mine. Unless you do me wrong, in which case, I will kill you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm curious. How's an establishment come across burnt birch at this time?
Oh, well, you come across a lot of interesting things in Wurthanc, especially when you're in my position. I don't know what Oliver's told you about me, but the business of pleasure is the one that we, and the lamplight manifest, are in charge of here in Wurthanc. That gives us the unique opportunity that the other two gangs in this city simply don't have. We mingle with those rich bastards up in the gilded plazas. And the fiscal plazas, I should say, might as well be gilded for as much wealth as they throw around. I have dirt on, I'd say all of them, with the exception of a few. There's a Duragar who won't come anywhere near us. There's and Regibard Wool keeps his distance. The Master of Commerce, he knows his stuff, but surprising what you can get out of wealthy men when you have information they don't want their wives to know.
Isn't that the truth?
Mm.
I was lucky I don't have a wife or wealth.
Well, welcome. You're in good company. So, what brings you here tonight?
Well, you came seeking me at the bar. You clearly had
Of
something
course.
to say.
I just wanted to see you, Oliver.
Well, here I am.
You can tell that she enjoys playing with him. He's visibly uncomfortable with her presence, and she's loving every second of it. Have you just come for the performance tonight, or anything more interesting?
Yes, just to relax. We actually have a job.
Oh, a job.
Yes.
Who's,
Doesn't matter. It's not you.
It isn't, and I can't imagine it's Rolf either. Don't tell me you've gone over to Brutus.
No, we
Good.
haven't.
That's very good. He,
Why?
oh, you know Brutus.
Of course.
He kills most of the people who work for him.
Right.
He's a damn fool.
Remind me, what's Brutus's last name?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like you
What is it with last names?
last names.
Names
I
have
mean,
power. That's why I made one for myself. The name Dusk is synonymous with pleasure, secrecy, and secret wealth. And I made it that way. In this town it is.
Sounds cool.
All right. Okay.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm on board.
Yeah. Whatever.
Well, as a pre-show, I have some advice from the road. If you're heading north anytime soon, be careful. In the winding step, there's a band of bandits worshipping some sort of strange idol. I'm actually quite interested to see if I can get that idol in here and do a show for it.
An idol.
Yes, an idol of some kind. I don't know. You know how news travels.
Yes.
If I could get that idol in here, I'm sure we could make quite a bit of money off of it, but
Are they just normal bandits then?
it seems as such.
The
I
idol
believe
doesn't
some hobgoblins, maybe
Provide-
goblins
the
mixed in
idol
there.
doesn't
I love
provide any
goblins.
sort of power, magical strength.
None that I know of. I just know they worship it like a god.
Interesting.
So, something interesting if you're ever headed north and wanted to do me a favor, Oliver.
Keep it in mind.
Good. Well, I suppose it's my turn.
I look forward to seeing you.
As she's saying this, the debtors are being let off in chains. Yep. And she sort of runs her fingers on your arm, gives you a wink, and then walks up to the.
As she walks away, I'm leaning over to Oliver. What exactly is her act?
Changes night to night. I guess we'll see. Can't be good though.
Oh. Why did we come here again?
Because it's a lovely establishment. They have drinks. Thought you of all people would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, no, I've found what I was looking for.
I've got to get another. Save this seat. Don't let anyone sit here.
Five
This is my
Z's.
special seat.
I'll come with you.
Okay.
Meet me outside when the show is over.
What?
And I'm gonna walk out.
I'm gonna order something that's not piss water from the bar.
Cool.
I'm actually gonna go to the bar, get a Stormringer's brew, and meet you outside right now. I think.
As you both go to the bar, the crowd starts like the loud raucous yelling. It goes very quiet. As you see her walk up onto the stage. I don't have like any songs of her singing, so this is what I'm gonna do.
Can you sing?
No.
Is this not a musical?
We'll see what happens. We'll see where the night goes.
Do you want to see that? Let's go.
As she goes up, the lights dim and turn slightly purple. And as she steps to the stage, as you walk up to the bar, you hear her voice call out and says, "Welcome all to this night, as good as any. Though on this one, we have some special friends. I'd like to dedicate this song to them." As you're ordering your drink, you hear her begin to sing a song you recognize. It's a soft Selosian lullaby that your mother used to sing to you. It's not unique to your mother, it's just from Salos.
Yeah.
It details the final wise and strong moments of the long-dead Empress of Salos and the last of her line, Celeste Soleil. In her final confrontation with the agents of Zymor, a band of assassins who killed her for her. They were rogue magic users, and at that time in Salos, magic was beginning to become a problem. Arcane magic was beginning to become a problem for a lot of people. So Celeste did her best to try to negotiate most of it, but she was killed by these agents of Zymor. And the next line of her and her whole family were killed. The next line of emperors and empresses completely banned arcane magic for hundreds of years in Salos. But Celeste was a strong, wise woman, and this details her final moments in the confrontation where she never wavered. The mood softens in the room. These body-drunk, raucous bandits and thieves sober up and quiet down, and you feel sort of a pull at your stomach as you hear the song that you recognize from your childhood.
I saw it.
Yeah. Even people who have no connection to this, you feel close to tears by her beautiful, melodic, mystical voice. It is a magical experience. With the lights slowly changing as she sings, and the voice itself.
LEDs, what's going on?
While this is happening, you've gone outside.
Yeah.
You go outside and you see Oliver's bird sitting atop the roof waiting. But you also see next to it an owl across, and they're sort of staring at each other. And that's a little odd to you. Neither of them making any sort of move, both of them just sitting and staring at each other.
Felix.
She doesn't respond to you, doesn't know you.
I guess I'll lean up against a wall and I'll just look. I'll just watch him.
As this song ends,
Can I even have a Shelley
yeah,
temple?
huge applause. You can see that Waylon the Dragonborn is wiping some tears away as well.
A bigger
Pours you another
one.
Shirley Temple.
A bigger one.
As Irina says, and enough of that sappy stuff. Here's the wizard from Zymor. And you, the half-orc with the lute comes back and starts playing it raucously as the mood sort of swings back into like a celebration. It's the body shanty, the wizard from Zymor. I have the lyrics here. I don't want to sing.
Take it away, Blake.
Sing it!
Take it away.
Sing it!
No, we'll get
Clap
there.
along.
We'll get there. You're going outside?
Yeah, I'm gonna slip outside.
Cool. So you pay the
Yeah, I slip a gold in there.
Cool.
Or
And you
silver.
go outside.
Slip over. Outside.
As you're leaving, you also notice the man with the shaved head go to leave, see you about to leave, and slink back into his seat.
I kind of like rest my eyes on him for a moment.
You lock eyes.
Lock eyes.
His are dark.
And do like a little eyebrow, like, hey, like I know you're here. And then
His
I
face doesn't change at all. He's grim set. His eyes themselves, like where people usually have like the pupil and then a lighter color around them, it seems from this distance and this dim lighting as though it's just black circles in the center.
And then I slip out.
Cool. So Oliver joins you.
What are you looking at?
Your bird's got a friend.
That's cute. Felix, darling.
She looks down at you.
What was that about?
She like looks back and forth between you and the owl, and the owl and flaps away.
Huh. You can go play if you like.
She sort of flits down onto your shoulder.
Okay. You want to talk?
No, I distinctly didn't. That's why I left.
Okay, I'm gonna go back inside then.
Great.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm
Cool,
great.
cool.
Yeah. I hate your friend.
Me too.
Then why do you come here?
She gives me money. I do work for her. That's how it works.
Doesn't seem like a friendship.
Well, wouldn't describe it as that. You called her my friend, I didn't.
What does she have over you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
What does she have under you?
Nothing.
Perception check. Can I see?
You can insight.
Yeah.
Can I see into his soul?
Into his soul. Insight's under wisdom, right? Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Okay. 21.
She knows a lot about me.
They fucked. You know they.
Yeah,
They
we-
definitely
we-
fucked.
yeah. She knows me in the biblical sense.
Is there Bible in this universe?
Some Bible.
Have you heard the
somewhere.
news of Paylor?
Paylor's good book.
My main man Paylor.
St. Cuthbert's cult.
She, you know the whole thing about last names? Well, she found out mine and found my history and, well...
Yeah. That's what I hate about her.
Yeah, well, me too. So at least we have that in common. Your last name, your castle.
My last name is Carlisle.
Sure it is. Listen. What did he mean in there, your connections?
Well, you know the name Castle.
Oh, do I?
Yeah. The most famous adventuring party of maybe all time, the ones who saved the world from Grazitz's Dark Dominion, imprisoned him, and brought the material plane back to the material plane out of the abyss. It was the Silver Citadel, yes? I should know that. The Silver Citadel, led by a paladin and a cleric of Paylor, both with the last name Castle.
Millie,
Yeah.
were your parents adventurers, or were they?
At one point.
I never thought I would actually meet a castle.
Still haven't.
Why the name change?
I do not have enough XP to unlock my backstory.
What's that?
It's like the world sort of just freezes and goes back to... back in the bar, the Wizard of Zymor ends. He peeped on a bath, invoked a man's wrath, and now he is not but an eyesore. And
I'm gonna turn to Wallace here. Wallace.
Tepper.
Do you think Oliver and Millie just went outside to get to know each other in the biblical sense?
In
Paylor's good book.
Paylor's good bookian sense.
Or should we also go outside?
You want to know me in the biblical sense?
That's not what I said.
Well, don't close it off.
Fair enough.
We can go check it out.
I don't know if I want to check it out. I'm asking if you think that's what's going on.
Oh, I get
I
it.
don't want to interrupt.
Interrupt. Yeah. Whatever. Let's say if we're not back in here in 5 minutes, we'll go out and see.
That sounds
what's
good.
up.
That sounds good. I'd like to order something that's not terrible. Stormbringer's brew.
Try.
Stormbringer's Brew is 50 silver. Lion's Mane vodka if you're looking to get fucked quickly. That's 30 silver.
Stormbringer.
Stormbringer's Brew. There we go. Straight from Zymor.
Have you
I
considered?
mean, how is it in comparison to my?
So
other
much better than the Wolf's Tooth. It's like it's nowhere on the same level as Burnt Birch. It's got sort of a citrusy flavor.
Got it.
And it's sort of it's got like an electric vibe to you. To it. When you drink it, it's sort of like a ooh. Can you tell that I don't drink?
No, but I'm gonna record every alcohol you say to me. Like that's Tapper's
Yeah,
thing.
that's awesome. I have a lot. I've written a lot.
Tapper's Tipsy Travels.
Write a book.
Maybe we'll
That's the
publish
name
it.
of the campaign.
Hard.
Evan doesn't like
I'm
it.
really proud of myself right now.
Maybe I'll publish it at the end.
Perfect.
I love this.
It's good. It's not Burnt Birch level, but it's definitely good. It's worth the 50 silver. It's probably worth more than 50 silver, but that's how they're pricing it. Cool. So she continues to sing. We'll head back over to Kira, actually.
Cobra. I
Sip,
love
sip, yum, yum.
long.
It's great. It's a great tea. Okay.
So you've been drinking tea. Brandon has told you about 6 of the lives of his brothers. 3 of them went off to become adventurers. 1 of them stayed and became the yeoman of the village, taking over for his father when he got too old. And the other 2 are artisans in the village as well. He's getting started on the next one here.
Excuse me, I think I found something. I don't know why I didn't think of this before.
What is it?
Yes,
And he's got like a handful of books, and he starts like placing them out and like flipping them open to different pages and like making sure he's got them all.
so, it's actually a very important moment in history, not only for the world, but also for my organization. The Dark Days of Witherfall. In the 52nd year of the Age of Unity, thus named for how it began, but it proved to be anything but,
in which an archfey queen, who we named the Withering Queen, she was put to sleep years and years before by the mysterious Iluith. She reawoke. She couldn't find her way back to the Feywild, as the natural portal she had come through previously had long since disappeared. And incensed and enraged, she worked her way across what is now the south of the Empire of Zymor and the north of the Kingdom of Nildor, withering and killing everything in her path. This trail of withered death she left behind, though she did so 1,201 years ago now, remains to this day, and it is called the Withering Queen's Court. I'm sure you've heard of it if you've done any sort of geography lessons of that area. It's a bit, it's a bit northeast.
Geography.
It's a bit northeast from here, but still. Eventually, the excellent Sortilegium, still at that time known as a fortune teller's guild on the surface, trying to avoid any aspersion cast towards arcane magic at the time. It was re-legalized in Salos at the time and never illegal in Renarsia, but still some superstitions about it. They banded together at the home of one of their members, Elimas Sign. She was an elven wizard who worked primarily with the Fey energies that could be found in the forests of Nildor, where she made her home. They had a very strict timeline to find a solution for dealing with this Withering Queen, that timeline being whenever she reached them. She arrived just as they were finding a solution. It was a bitter battle. Many members of my organization lost, though I was not alive at the time. In the end, Elamos bound her life force to a tree next to her home and served as a conduit for the ritual that would open a path back to the Feywild. The ritual succeeded, and they were able to give the Queen passage back home, which led to the creation of the now permanent portal to the Feywild, the Primal Grove. Well, semi-permanent, I suppose. And Elimas Sign now is bound there as a spirit who serves as its gatekeeper, making sure nothing too terrible comes in or out. This was the Sortilegium's first step to the fame and the influence that we enjoy to this day, and we used the knowledge that was gained in that conflict to create the spells we now commonly use that allow planar travel and teleportation as a whole. Since there's been a great deal of speculation about what else was put to sleep by the Iluith. And slowly, over these years, more and more Fey, mostly, but outsiders from this plane, from the lower planes, from the upper planes, from the Feywild, a handful from the Shadowfell, have been slowly awakening. It seems as though the more powerful they were, the sooner they woke up. The Withering Queen being by far the most powerful, an archfey of a dreadful kind. My guess is that this Korred was put to sleep by the Iluith before recorded history even began, and he must not be the most powerful Fey one has ever encountered, for it has taken him quite some time to reawaken, but that being said, he is a Fey. I would not recommend taking this entity lightly, but that would be my guess as to what happened in this situation. If there was indeed a mountain, which, and he pulls out a book of geography, there was a mountain here, eons and eons ago, but then in the War of the Beasts, it was used as a fortress, and you know Wurthanc in history, yes. It must have been taken down, and he must have awoken displeased. And Korreds are fiercely territorial, so I'd imagine that he's not willing to move to another mountain, but rather re-establish the one that remains here. Korrens are not terribly unintelligent and could be reasoned with. That is, if one can talk to it. It doesn't speak common, but it does speak a variety of other more strange languages, those being, and he shuffles through his book, Dwarven, Sylvan, Terran, and Undercommon. I hope I could have been of some assistance. I'd love to help you out more personally with this matter, but I'm here on...
Dwarven, Undercommon, Sylvan,
Terran.
Terran.
I'm afraid I'm here on Sortilegium business, and I must attend to, well, what I must attend to. There's woeful events happening in the West Pride, and it is unfortunately, once again, because of arcane magic, so It is our duty, as the preeminent guild of arcane magic in this world, to make sure that the evildoers who possess this gift cannot ruin it for the rest of us. I hope I could have been of some help.
Well, thank you so much. It's actually really, really helpful.
Of course, I'm so glad.
I have a head start for tomorrow when we get back together again. I wonder if anybody else came up with some useful information.
Oh, I sure hope they did. Brandon! And he turns over and Brandon is sitting in a chair, just snoring. Totally.
Oh, I guess as long as not caffeinated.
Oh, no. Looks not. No. He's a good kid. If you're intending to spend more time with him, please look after him for me.
I will do my best.
I owe it to his father and to him. He's, I won't say saved me, but definitely helped me out in a couple of scrapes.
Cool. Well, I don't know how to get back home.
Yes,
from
I'll
here.
take care of that. Don't worry. He's not going to be happy when you reappear. I'm just going to warn you. But here we are. And you feel that same tension when you reappear. And Brennan, when I was sleeping, Averth. Come on. Oh, very sorry. And then disappears. Oh, well, I've begun sleeping. Oh, like to continue. Where's this barracks of yours?
It's not too far. We just have to go left and then right and then
And you take and you make it to the barracks and you find your way to sleep. Back at you guys. You stay at the bar for a little while longer. You get a little tipsier, but things seem to be winding down at the lamp's light.
All right, let's see what's going on outside.
Two of you are outside having this conversation, and these two sort of drunkenly stumble through the door.
Do we need to roll for how drunk we are, or?
You always seem more drunk than
okay,
you are,
fair.
and you've had what 2 or 3 Shirley Temples now, so you're not like drunk, but you're having a
sugar.
yeah, you're sugar high for sure.
Oh, hey guys.
Well, now what have you two been up to out here?
Just talking.
Yeah.
It's a little bit stuffy in there, don't you think?
Should we?
Less interesting.
Sorry.
You like
Look,
So who's the girl?
Irina.
Come on, that's not what I meant. I'm gonna nudge Oliver.
Little flimsy
That
arm.
does not count as unarmed combat.
No, but he's like, oh. As you nudge him, you're like, there's not much on those bones.
You mean Irina?
Yeah.
She's an ex-boss of mine, to put it plainly.
I see.
The worst kind of ex.
We're
Yeah.
friends.
Sure, we're friends. Are you tired?
Yeah. It's been a little.
No, I'm Wallace.
Right.
Haha, I'm kidding. Yes, I'm very tired.
Should we go to my place? It's just around the corner.
I think so. I think that would be
That sounds good.
beneficial
Wonderful.
for all of us.
Oliver leads you to his home. He leads you down more streets. At this point, like, there's no one out except for dogs, and they're like really interested in you.
Walk.
Yeah.
They are not cute dogs.
Yeah, as you go down to one of the dogs, it's like, and then it starts growling as you get close to it, and its haunches sort of rise, and it's like, ooh, I got a snack. You are led to a shitty, like, cement
By that ring.
building. Oliver sort of jangles with some keys, opens it, leads you up like the tiniest the narrowest staircase. You guys can barely fit up in there. You gotta like hold your staff to make it through. You go up 4 stories into this room. It is one room about the size of the room we're in right now. There is a stove.
Is it hot?
Well, not. It's no. Yeah, it's summer. It's pretty hot in here. There is like a basin of water over in the corner. There is a cabinet in the other corner, and there is like just a terrible mattress in the one corner, and there's books, like a stack or 2 of books over in the other corner, and that's it.
I take off my large coat, throw it on the bed, get into bed, and pull the coat on as a cover.
Okay, so I'm a little spoon. I don't know if anyone.
I turned my cloak into like a big old plushy furry guy, and I just get in a corner and
I don't think your cloak changes. It's just an illusion.
it looks like I'm
It
super
looks like you're very
comfortable.
warm.
It looks like I'm a baller.
Alright, Tipper,
That's alright. As a monk, I just sleep on the floor and I just fall.
Bam! Face down, snoring immediately.
Okay, alright. Can I do perception check of...
Yeah.
Like, what do I see?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, go
Do
for
I
it.
have to?
No,
Go ahead.
yeah, I guess.
8.
8. It's not a nice place. There's kind of a window, but like, it's like this wide, like that tall. Definitely doesn't open.
Can I go splash around in the water basin for a little? Oh yeah, I love that.
And eventually, you all find your way to an uncomfortable sleep, with the exception of the two of you, because you're used to this. And you were a little bit. You've been sleeping in a jail cell before this, so this is not that much
great.
worse.
Yeah.
So we're all pretty
You're all fine. So what I said before, forget it. And that is how you pass the night. You can finally heal, all of you, and get your spells
Take a
back.
whole lot of damage, though, do we? Did
I mean-
anyone take a ton of damage?
Even in the fight, he
No.
took so much.
Oh.
I took a...
You're the new tapper.
Cool. Shit, I didn't find those.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I thought that was open. I thought you were like writing in marker on the
Cool.
screen.
So the next
Good
morning,
morning, everybody.
I'm up at 5:30.
and no one else is.
We sleep a little later than we're supposed to.
I get up at 5:30.
What
I
time
go,
did we say that?
I go,
Name.
I go to the gym a little bit. You know, I'm actually, you know, because we do have maybe 5, and then get up. You know, brush my teeth, polish the armor a little bit, do some calisthenics, make breakfast. I made it way too early for Brandon. I was like gonna make Brandon breakfast, but like he's just
Super asleep. Just so asleep.
I like tried wafting the smells in his direction. It's not working.
As you're doing this, and you're polishing some of your armor, another one of the Lion Knights walks past you and knocks your armor into the ground. He says, "Who fucking said you could bring someone else to the barracks? You're not a captain."
It's fine. There's just an empty bed. Listen, he's super nice. He's on the task force with me anyway, so.
You know, for a broad who's so obsessed with the rules, you sure know how to fucking break them when it befits you. Too bad you don't have Captain Benjamin to cry to anymore. And a guy behind him, like this big, sort of overweight dude, like, and then they both walk out.
I'll reclaim my armor vigorously.
As you start doing this, Brandon sort of sits up and he says, "Sorry if I've caused you any trouble. I didn't intend to. There's some rat bastards, though.
I know they kind of suck.
Is that what they're all like?"
Not all of them.
Oof.
Kind of, yeah, kind of all of them.
Sorry to hear that.
Sheena's so nice though.
The
Yeah.
cat tabaxi.
She's so great, and yeah, just Sheena's really great.
Well, that's not very fun. Why do you keep working here?
I don't know.
Why'd you even start in the first place? I've always wondered what brings one to become a town guard.
Well, my town wasn't big enough for a guard, so we couldn't do it there.
Oh. You say we?
Yeah, me and Benny.
Oh, who's Benny? I thought you said everyone here sucked.
Yeah, well, he's not here, so.
Oh, right.
But we were like neighbors, and we always wanted to be silver beasts.
Oh, they're the elite soldiers
Yeah,
of,
they're
of,
so
of
cool.
Carleone. Yeah.
So when we were little, we would always like dress up as them and go running around. But you know, in order to be a silver beast, you have to go through the ranks. So the first thing we did, we went to the academy. Both of us did really well, I have to say. Graduated top of our class, 1 and 2.
I'm not surprised.
And,
Who was one? Who was 2?
I was number 2. And then, you know, we applied for jobs after the academy, ended up in Wurthanc together, which is super cool.
That's very
'cause, like,
nice.
we didn't even talk about it.
And you're from around here, aren't you?
Yeah. And then we were here for a while, just going on rounds. It was super fun. And then he got promoted, which is like so great for him, you know.
I see. So he's not here anymore.
No.
Where'd he get moved to?
the capital, which is so cool.
Hitting the big leagues. Good for
right?
Benny.
Yeah.
Benny. Right.
So I don't know. I mean, like we sort of started out together, and so it's like not as fun anymore.
Well, that's unfortunate. I hope you get promoted soon.
Yeah, me too.
And here, as a token of my thanks for letting me sleep here, and he rustles around in his bag, and he pulls out what looks sort of like a water balloon, and he places it on your armor, drops it, and it just sort of goes out over all of it, encapsulates it, and you can see any rust, any stain on it just completely disappear, and then it sort of slooshes to the ground. Like, the ground's a bit wet, but your armor's nice and clean now.
How did you do that?
Got a lot of nice things in this bag here.
Is that like a one-time use thing? As I'm trying to like scoop up this water.
It's lost its magic at this point, yes, but there's more where that came from. I've got some suppliers, yes.
That's so cool. You should sell that to the army. I'm sure they would love it.
Well, I'd like to. I'd like to set up a place to sell from before I start selling to people. But yeah.
That's so cool. You have so many cool things.
I do. I've been using a lot of them since I met you all. So we got to take it down a notch. Otherwise, I'm not gonna have anything to
I
sell.
didn't ask you to clean
Oh
my
no,
armor.
I'm not you. That was thanks for treating me so kindly.
Yeah, what
And
time
Avarth
is
as
it
well.
at this point?
It's about time to go meet people.
We said we were gonna meet at 11:30, right?
I know, but you spent a
That
long
time.
time preparing before any of this
Time
happened.
to meet people.
the
The time.
time.
Meanwhile, in your home, you wake up to the sound of yelling from the floor below and above you.
Tapper and I spooning. Did we find each other?
Sure. Well, Tapper's still lying face
Face
down,
down.
and you're just sort of curled up
On
around.
top of
They're right next to me.
Yeah, your head is on Tapper's back. Yeah. And Tapper does wake up first.
Honest. Honest, get out.
What is it, honey?
It's gonna roll out from under him.
Led to the floor.
Wishing hit the table.
I wanna, from my corner, I'm just gonna reach over and just take a book. Just read the book.
All right. It's children's folklore.
I never got to read this.
Well, there you go. You can have it if you'd like.
Really?
Sure, I have a lot. I'm gonna go deal with this yelling downstairs. Can I get anybody anything?
Shirley Temple?
I don't have those.
You want backup?
Yeah, we're gonna have ourselves an early morning brawl to start
Sure,
the day.
sure, why not? Let's all go.
Oh my fucking god.
I put my coat on, like I throw like a splosh of water on my face,
Can
and
we
I'm
just
good.
go over to the wall?
Yeah, I go over the wall. It's just.
It's not like water, it's like sweat. It's real gross. You like
all
it
right, I go over
sticks
to
to you
the,
a little bit.
I
You're
go
like,
into the basin.
that's not quite what I
Made a
wanted.
choice.
Little sticky.
Nice, we ready to go? Alright, we can go downstairs.
You head downstairs. I mean, it's your below neighbors. It's a husband and wife, and they love to throw shit at each other all the time. And you've tried to stop them, and they just don't. No response. They're just yelling real loud, and you're like,
Do I know that-
I
Yeah.
would like to make my armor look like Kira's did.
"My knight armor." All right. You see as Millie sort of mutters something, and her armor turns into the big.
Wait. I'm
Mine
just
and
gonna
armor.
say, before we knock on this door again, is there any reason for us to intervene?
No!
Can we just go meet
Are we heading to
Kira?
Should we just go?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
Cool.
I'm still Lion Knight.
I was gonna alter self and become a lion knight too, just have some fun, but let's just
Just
go.
whatever. Screw us, I
You
guess.
you walk, you exit out into the kennel. And the kennel is a totally different place during the daytime. Still lots of dogs, still lots of, it's still like not a nice place, but there are people walking about. There's like families. It's a place that people live. As you continue, you sort of walk back in the direction of the wealth gap, you find your, you hear little voices. You see two children running around. One of them with a big, they both have, one of them has a big stick and one of them has a pot lid and a stick. The one with the big stick is like, I am Grazitz, I will dominate you. And the other one says, not by the power of Paylor. And then two other kids run out and they say, by the grace of Paylor, which you know is the more or less like slogan of the Silver Citadel. And then they all start hitting each other with sticks and like laughing and running off in a different direction.
That was cute.
Whoa.
I hated that.
It's a good Foley.
Shall we keep walking?
Yep. You make it through the wealth gap. You're all fine. They open the gates for you. They give you a bit of a look, but you're with the Lion Knight, so you make it through pretty easily.
A teeny tiny lion knight.
And then you
small.
you make it to the Gilded Plaza where you said you would.
It's not that
You're
small.
It's taller than Elena.
No, for a half elf, that's pretty small.
Yeah, I'm a small half elf.
Okay.
What's wrong with you? Okay.
Cool.
This is very
We traded
important.
heights.
So you make your way to the Gilded Square.
Woo!
And you see Brandon and Kira waiting for you there.
Kira.
I'm 5'4". I'm sorry, I lied.
You do see that
Millie
Millie.
suddenly gross.
You see Millie is in a Lion Knight armor when she walks out.
Stop that right now.
What?
That is illegal.
I don't know what you're talking.
You do.
I-
You know exactly. I'm pulling out my handbook and I'm looking at the page 37.
This is. I mean,
You
this is
may
my
not
armor.
in.
I'm not cursing anyone, just myself.
I'm pulling out an incident report.
I'm gonna whip out a paper and a quill, and I'm gonna just.
Should we go?
Brandon says, "Well, as far as this is, maybe we should, do the thing we're supposed to do. Where are we going?
Hey, Brandon.
How was your night?
That was good. How's yours?
It's a great time.
Pretty good. I saw my old friend. So that was good. The one I was trying to meet while I was
Oh,
here.
who's that?
Yeah, he's a member of the Exit Sortilegium.
My face drops.
Do we all
That's
know
fun.
that? That's like common
Yeah,
knowledge.
they're like the Wizard Guild. They're like
No,
they.
I know
Yeah.
that. Do we?
You do.
Okay.
They're world renowned. They pretty much pull the strings no matter what. Like there are 5 kingdoms in Renarcia. The Exit Sortilegium might as well be a 6th. They hold that much sway. Oh, well, the Emperor of Zymor is a member as well, but that's sort of an honorary position. Don't worry about it.
Right.
So where are we going? We got
We're going to.
We got Regimard.
Regimard
We got Regimard Wool. That's something. We got
through
a
the
connection in the
archives.
kennel who might know something about where. It's good to ask the people on the ground. That's what Sheena said.
I think we have a lot of connections in the kennel, from what I hear.
Do we know? With
Connection.
I look at both of
Did
these
you guys
two.
have a nice night?
No, it was fine. It was yes. It was
It
pleasant.
was.
What did you do?
What did you?
We went to a club and hung out.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah,
Right.
it was great.
Let's pick where we're going. Let's walk and talk. Yeah.
Sure.
To Regibald.
Regibald.
To Regibald.
All right. Let's pick that.
This
quest.
away, and you start walking in that direction. And you're walking for a while. You are on your way to the Manor District. You can see the manors in the distance, and they're huge and crazy. Some of you have been here into the Manor District before. You've been on a couple of jobs. The 3 of you came for your job previously. You've never been to the Manor District, so this is sort of new to you. And you've been in capital cities before, so you know big buildings. These are huge buildings, and they all seem to be personal residences, which is fucking absurd. They're all hugely ostentatious, ridiculous shows of wealth. But as you're on your way there, you're still walking through the sort of affluent, but sort of commercial section of the town. Tapper, as you're walking, you hear as a rock just sort of skitters down one of the sides of the buildings and lands next to you.
Can I roll a perception check?
Yeah. Should change the music probably.
14?
It's getting spooky.
A 14?
This is
Spooky music.
Well, it's better than nothing.
pure.
You look up, nothing out of the ordinary. There's a lot of the area you're walking on. There's a lot of statuary up in there, but nothing seems out of the ordinary.
The
to
building
you
that fell off,
guys.
what does it look like? Is it in good repair? Or?
Yeah, everything here is pretty well made.
Okay.
You're sort of next to an alleyway that sort of goes down and connects to another street, but you know,
So can I pick up the rock and
it's a stone rock.
just a rock?
It's a stone.
A stone rock, you say?
It is the same.
A stone rock.
It is of the same make as the building that you were looking up next to. It came off of this building.
Oh, okay, so it came off the building. Alright. Then I look around, make my perception check, and continue
Alright, as you continue on the other side,
Do any of us notice this or just him?
you can all make perception checks.
14.
Unnatural 20.
13.
Look around.
15.
Some of these statues don't look like they're in the same place as they were before.
The statues move?
And as you say this, one of them
Okay,
pops its head down towards
that
you.
moved.
Its big wings
Books
flat
out,
out behind
ready to
him.
go.
4 of these statues sort of spring to life. 4 gargoyles up on the top of these buildings.
Gargoyles.
We're gonna start battling. So everybody roll initiative, and we're gonna figure out how to make the camera work. Initiative. Let me roll these guys.
Oh shit, I rolled initiative, but I re-rolled my D20 from this board, and I don't remember what it was.
Reroll it.
Oh!
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's not bad. Okay.
Wait, are we re-rolling?
No,
No, because Griffin just forgot.
Well,
we're gonna cut that out because Griffin didn't cheat.
No, I just rolled.
That's not cheating.
It's not cheating, but we're not gonna cut it out.
God damn it!
Okay. Brandon didn't do good. Cool.
15.
15 for Millie. Wallace.
15.
Ooh, 15 for Wallace. Tapper.
11.
11 for Tapper. Kira.
21.
Ooh, great job, Kira. And Oliver.
Oliver.
Oliver is 19.
19. Solid. Solid. You are on the same page.
Grover clean.
Garg. Cool. So, this isn't.
This is not.
No. Don't worry. It is Black Vortex by Kevin MacLeod and Compotech.com. I love you, Kevin. I love you. I love you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Cool. So, Kira, you are up first.
How high are they?
I'm gonna say they're about 30 feet up.
Okay. I guess. Can I just hold my action?
That's fine. Do you want to move or anything?
I guess I'll move like closer to one.
Which one?
I can't see the board, so just
Stand
choose
up a
one
little
for
bit.
me.
Don't block the camera.
Cool.
Yeah, just
You can block the camera for a second if you want to stand up and
yeah,
look at
just
the
like
map.
I'll just be there and I'll just like hold my action.
Cool.
for
Holding your
whenever-
action.
For when there's one within
Oliver,
range of.
you can go next.
Cool. I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
Cool. So you see as Oliver sort of, here's the 6 minutes of drums. My favorite track. Oliver sort of like gestures and he gets this sort of like sheen of blue energy over him. Whew, I'm sweating like a stuck pig. Cool.
pig.
Garg time. All right. So this Garg is gonna fly down towards
Garg.
Wallace. Yeah. And is going to try to grapple Wallace. So you can make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Okay. I'm gonna make an
Don't add more
athletics check.
Cool.
Because I'm deficient. So that's 12.
12. Cool. It is going to successfully grapple you
Oh
and begin to lift you up, returning to 30 feet in the air. He's just holding you 30 feet in the air in this space. So I can't do that for you right now because I don't have my little guys because all my Legos broke. But imagine you are here. You are in the same square, 30 feet up.
Hugging a Garg.
Yeah, well,
Walls
you're
in the
trying to
Garg.
get the Garg off you, and the Garg's just clawing you
I'm
real
trying not to
good.
hug the Garg. I don't want him to drop me.
This Garg is going to fly down
get, what, 30? He's going to fly over to you, Millie. No, you look heavily armored. He's going to fly over to Tapper. And he's going to try to grapple you as well.
Alright. That's an acrobatics check.
Yeah, natural 20 though on his end. So make it.
Come on, nat 20.
On that 20.
And boom, you find yourself 30 feet in the air in this space. This Garg is going to fly down towards you, because you also look squishy. And he is going to fly. Oh, he couldn't fly you 30 feet up, but he could fly. You are 10 feet in the air. He's going to try to grapple you, Griffin, or Oliver.
Either one. Or one.
So roll athletics or acrobatics, whichever you prefer.
That's bad. 6.
Ooh, he only rolled an 8, but still. He flies you 20 feet into the air in this space. And the last one is going to fly down towards you, Elena. But you held your action, so you can do something if you want.
Slash!
Cool, do it.
Nobody tries to pick me up. 23.
That'll hit.
Awesome. Yeah. That's 13 damage. I will mark it.
Cool. Similarly to the earth elementals, you can tell that your mundane attacks aren't doing as much as you would necessarily want against this creature, but certainly not nothing.
Okay, and then I'll try to hit it again.
Cool.
Can I roll that?
Yeah, you can roll it.
Ooh.
It's gotta go in your box.
22.
22, that'll hit.
6 damage.
6 points of damage, and once again, you feel as though it probably doesn't do as much as you want it to. But it is, in fact, marked. Cool. It is now going to, after that, instead of trying to pick you up, just going to take several slashes at you, because you have incensed its anger as you sort of slash across its chest, cutting an X into its stony chest.
Marks
the Garg,
the spot.
The Garg just, and then comes at you with 2 claws. The first one is a natural 20, and the second one's a natural 20.
Oh, no.
Kira.
Sorry.
Kira.
You got Garg, baby.
You got Garg.
Garg. Nothing like a good Monday morning.
22 points of damage in total,
Garg.
as the Garg's claws find weak points in your armor and just sort of rip it, denting some of your newly washed, newly cleaned armor.
Nice.
Millie!
I'm gonna take my short bow out and I'm gonna shoot the one next to Kira.
Cool.
In a sneaky manner.
I think you can do that.
What?
You don't have advantage on a ranged attack
No,
when
not
you're
advantage.
flanking.
But I
You
don't
need
get sneak
advantage on
attack.
sneak attack. Well, I can see you.
But not advantage. But
You only
it's
get.
flanking her, right?
Yeah, but I think you only get that if you're in melee.
Then I'm gonna walk over to it.
Okay.
Or run.
I'll check it right now, but
In a haste.
pretty sure that's just a melee thing. Otherwise, it'd be fucking broken. But
Yeah,
honestly, it might be. I haven't played Rogue since. I haven't played Rogue since 3.5, so I truly don't know. Attack, it depends on the attack roll. If you have an attack, if another enemy is... No, actually, that's fine. You can shoot it.
I can shoot it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot it. Make an advantage.
No,
Okay,
but
good.
you do get
Wait,
sneak
maybe
attack
sneak.
if you hit.
14.
14, bing, bounces right off.
And then I'm gonna use the help action. I'm gonna help Kira.
Well,
Good.
you have to be within 5 feet to use the help action.
I do?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna... He's close to
You do
me.
it again.
I'm gonna help Brandon. If
okay.
anything happens to him.
You're gonna help Brandon.
Help Brandon.
Cool.
That's a t-shirt.
Wallace, you are 30 feet in the air right here.
What's my orientation with the Garg?
He's got you, you're
Leave the
grappled.
little spoon.
So he's got you sort of like around,
Little
you,
spoon.
sort of like a hug under the arms, and
The
it's holding
little
you, but it's got like claws and armpits, I guess, is
Yeah.
sort of what it
His
is.
claws are in my armpits.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna wild shape into an elk.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's so cool.
So hopefully he won't.
So yeah, as you turn into an elk, he's gonna make a strength saving throw, I think. Woo! Yeah, he drops you. He drops you.
Can I take him with me? Like if his claws are under my arm.
Well, no, because you get bigger and he tries to hold you and he just sort of drops you.
But can I grab him on the way down? With my elk hands.
You don't have elk hands.
You're what?
I guess make a grapple check at disadvantage. So that's
'Cause-
athletics for you.
Ooh. Grapple check at disadvantage. That goes with my elk stats.
Yeah.
So. Strength?
Yeah.
So that would be a 7.
You got a 4. So you sort of just boom, pile drive him. So you turn into an elk, and he's like, "Ah," and you just sort of flip your elk head back over and like land on his back, and you just take him to the ground.
Wow.
You're both taking 3d6 points of damage, though.
Okay. Fair.
Oh my god! That is 17 points of damage.
Okay. While I'm
You're no longer an elk.
no
I'd
longer an
imagine.
elk.
You are both prone. That is number 1. Cool. Ouch. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably your turn, unless you want to use your movement to half your movement to stand up.
Yes, I do.
Cool. So that will make it Tapper. Your turn. You are 10 feet in the air. Here.
How does he have me grapple?
Same.
Same way? Alright,
Just turn into an elk. It works.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to just punch him in the face.
Okay. Disadvantage on your attack because you're grappled.
Because they're close to each other.
That's gonna be a 14. No, I'm sorry, a 13.
You sort of like try to hit him backwards with your fist and nothing.
How many actions is it to attempt to break the grapple?
An action.
It's an action.
Though you've kind of used your action to make it an arm strike.
It was a bonus action.
But you can only take that bonus action if you take an attack action.
Damn, you're right. Alright. In that case, screw it. I'll make another unarmed strike.
Okay.
If that's half.
Yeah.
If it's my action.
That's still this.
Oh, it's still disadvantage.
Yeah, because you're grappled.
That would be a 14.
14, also nothing. You're struggling, but you can't reach.
I'll throw the third unarmed.
Cool,
strike.
go for it.
See what happens. That's a 16.
16 does hit. Roll for damage.
Cool. Can you ever make a Constitution saving throw?
I can. Constitution saving throw.
It's gonna be 6 damage.
6 damage. Cool. It rolled a 13.
My DC is 14.
Cool.
So,
So
he's
what
now
happens?
stunned till the end of my next turn.
So what exactly?
So you, he's
This is what my DM screen's
He's
for. But
stunned until the end of the next turn. Because it's a stunning strike.
yeah, I figured as much. I just-
stunning.
Stun!
Sparkles everywhere. God.
Well, yeah, okay. You're falling, both of you. It's only 10 feet though. And I'm going to allow you a dexterity saving throw
Cool.
to negate it. He does not get it. I should say it. I don't know if it's gender.
Dex save, you said?
Yeah,
That's a 16.
16. You negate the damage entirely as you sort of roll out of it. Cool, man. Cool. And it is prone and stunned. So.
Oh, I know what's about to happen.
You do know what's about to happen. That makes it.
I need more dice.
I need more dice.
And hey, I need more dice.
I didn't write you down, Oliver, but I'm gonna say it's
It
your
was a
turn.
19, because that was the same as the
Oh, yeah.
Gargies.
Oh, because you already went, so never mind. You're good. Brandon is going to go fuck and reach into his bag. He's going to pull out a crossbow.
His advantage.
What?
I helped him. He has advantage.
He does. He's going to pull out the crossbow and sort of shakily aim it at the one carrying Oliver. He has advantage. Not bad. Good thing you gave him advantage. He would have rolled a natural 1. He hits. He does in fact hit. Good for you, Brandon. Oh man. He does 2 points of damage.
Yeah!
Halved to 1.
What a good guy.
As it sort of like clinks into the foot, and he goes, all right, fuck this, and he reaches into his bag, and that's the end of his turn. Kira.
I guess I'll just go after the same guy again.
All right.
That makes more sense. Ooh, I don't think either of them hit. I rolled a 1 and a 4.
Yep, neither of those hit. You bounce off. The first one you straight up just bounce off the flesh, the stony flesh of this gargoyle. The second one it just catches your sword and like into your face as sort of your mist is like coming out of its mouth. It's really creepy. It throws it away. Anything you want to do?
I'll use my second wind as a bonus.
Cool.
Just do that. Just before it gets worse.
All right, fair.
Okay. That's it.
Cool. Oliver,
I'm in the air.
you're being grappled by a Garg.
I'm gonna lean in and whisper dissonant whispers in his ear.
Okay.
He has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. That is, sorry, rolled off my dice box. That is an 8.
He fails.
Cool.
So it's 4d6.
Oh shit! What? Does anything else happen?
Of psychic damage and must immediately use its reaction if available to move as far away as its speed allows you away from you.
Okay.
2.
11 points of damage. Nice. And you see it takes full damage. It drops you, and then flies directly upward, 60 feet. So you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall 20 feet. And you are prone. And he is... Actually, make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can have that, because you did cause... You were probably prepared. You caused him to do that.
Yeah, no, that's a 10.
Yeah, you're still taking it. He is now... He was 20. He's now 80 feet up in the air.
You said 7?
7, yeah. How long does that last? How long, or is it just once?
It's just once. He flies away.
So yeah, you see Oliver sort of like grab onto the arms and sort of like do a pull up and just whisper right into this guy's ear, and then he drops him and then goes flying up into the air with a fearful look on his Garg face, his dumb fucking Garg face.
What the hell did you say to him?
All right,
He's not awesome
Garg.
now.
Garg 1 is going to stand back up next to Swimmy, sort of growling face. Oh, that's your old character's name. Next to R.I.P. Swimming. Next to Wallace, and he's going to make come in with its mouth to try to bite you. That is a 15 to hit.
Yes.
Cool.
You're trying to kiss me.
3 points of damage to you. And then it's going to come in with a claw attack. That's an 8 to hit.
No.
So goes in, bites you right on the shoulder, and then tries to claw at you, but you sort of like push it away. Just get it right in its Garg pecs.
Take me to dinner first.
Nice. Cool, that's Garg 1's turn. And then Garg 1 is going to fly. So you get an attack of opportunity if you want it.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Make it.
Does it, would it matter with what?
I would assume with your what do you want to make it with? Make it with your club, probably.
With my club, yeah. I'm gonna try and hit him. Not 13. 12.
12, no. You whiff. As it flies
Snap my fingers anymore.
back up onto
It's
the ear
embarrassing.
and starts to nurse its wounds.
Calculator.
That's Garg 1, Garg 2. No, that was Garg 2. Who's taking 5 months damage. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Garg 3 is stunned as fuck, so it doesn't do anything. And did the Garg attack you already, Elena?
No.
Cool. Then that's
I
the
mean,
one.
mine didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it just...
It's going to realize that you got a lot of armor. Actually, no, it did a good job last time. It's going to try it again. Just 2 more claw strikes at you. That is a 17 to hit.
No.
Yep. And another 17 to hit. I'm rolling the same thing on you all the time. So, and it's going to sort of maneuver around you to this side. Cool. That will make it Millie's turn.
Alright. I'm gonna
go over to the. Can I make it in 30 feet to the one that's with Kira? Once each with Kira.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, I want to go over to that boy out. Oops, sorry, Kira. I'm gonna go in my ability to mimic accent and speech patterns. Stop! In the name of the law! I'm gonna get him with my ring. What did I do to deserve this? 23.
That'll hit.
Oh my god.
I'm being mocked. Do I have to take damage?
Yeah, that's some vicious mockery right there.
16. 18! And I'm gonna use the help action on Kira.
Cool. 18.
I don't want your help.
Can you deny someone's help action?
No, thank you.
I don't want your help.
Garg is that? It's the first Garg that activated, so it's that one. No, it's that one. That's the Garg. 18. Cool. You can see as your thing goes into it, it definitely doesn't do as much as you'd like, but say la vie. Dust in the wind.
It doesn't.
Wallace.
I am going to pick up a stone from the ground.
Okay.
Sitting there around.
Yeah.
Because they've been falling off buildings.
And as these guys dislodged, stones came with them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pick up a hardy stone from the ground. I'm gonna use the magic stone cantrip on it.
Again?
What?
This worked really well last time.
Yeah. I'm gonna use the magic stone cantrip with my sling.
Okay.
And I'm gonna fling it at Garg number 2, who has gone up.
He up over in here?
Yeah.
Cool. What's your no.
No, not.
That's Garg 3. Garg 3's way up, just up on the fucking.
I'm going for the one that's been.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Go for it.
16.
16 will hit. Yeah.
Cool. So that's
What does Magic Stone do?
Magic Stone makes my sling have.
Like magical. It's a magical attack.
No, it just makes the target takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage, but for like regular sling it takes 1d4.
Gotcha. Is it a magical? Like, is it considered magical bludgeoning or is it mundane bludgeoning? I'm gonna say
it's mundane bludgeoning.
Well, I mean, you've made the stone magic.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's magic.
I don't know.
That's my ruling. I get to pick. I'm the dungeon master after all.
If we're wrong, leave a message in the comments.
Please don't. I mean, they will. I guess. All right.
It just is bludgeoning damage, so.
Well, I'm gonna call it magic. I'm making that call.
Okay.
So roll it.
Roll it.
Roll it.
Roll it.
Yes. Do I need to
11,
blast the
11.
6 minutes of drums that have started again so we don't have this copyright issue? 2 points of damage.
Yeah.
Well, with your sling, it's plus your dex.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I don't know how to play this game. Plus dex is 3.
Woo! 3 points of damage to that fucker. He's that. Cool. Tapper.
Alright. So this guy's lying on the ground.
Lying on the ground. He's prone and stunned.
I have
which means-
advantage, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
That's-
like so much advantage.
Well, also Elven Accuracy. A
So-
third die of advantage.
Yeah, you've got 3 uses of advantage at this point.
Yeah, maybe 4.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I'm gonna start helping.
Wait, if it's incapacitated, this might be a critical automatically.
I could be wrong, but
Auto crit.
Auto crit.
no, it's not an auto crit.
Not auto crit? Alright.
That'd be cool.
Well, I'm rolling 3 die. Hopefully there'll be some crits in
No.
there. Alright, 1
They're all
attack.
ones.
That's a 20.
Nice.
So that's a 1 crit.
Why are you rolling 3? You only get advantage once.
I only get advantage.
It doesn't
on
double
these
count.
Strikes. Oh, I can't take advantage on each attack I make.
You can attack on, but why are you throwing 3 die?
Oh, because Elven Accuracy. Elven Accuracy has a third.
Elven accuracy.
It's Elven
Elven
accuracy.
It has a third. Yeah.
Cool. That's 1 critical hit.
Technically, Elven Accuracy is you're supposed to roll 2, and if you don't like one, roll a third.
Mm.
But why not just roll 3?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
The next one is a 23 to hit.
That'll hit. So 1 crit, 1 hit.
And then, you know, I'll bring a key point and make 2 more attacks.
I figured it's
Because
that's
why
much,
the fuck
right?
not, you know? We'll call that a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that's cocked. Should I roll
Yeah,
that?
reroll it.
21.
Is that what it's called? It's like a little.
Yeah.
13 to hit.
13 won't hit.
Oh, alright.
It's like that.
So that's a critical and 2 regular hits.
That's great.
2 hits.
Merch.
Alright.
I'm saying we should make sure it's.
2 hits, 1 crit. That is. So that's.
Make sure it's so hot so they know what we feel.
Yeah.
It's fine.
How many? So that's what, 4 dice plus the mod 3 times?
Come on.
Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I rolled 2 dice on mine.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna trust your math on that one.
Alright.
That sounds
Yeah,
correct.
that sounds right. Alright.
You're the numbers.
Yeah, you're the math guy.
23 damage.
Fuck. Alright, cool.
He's literally lying on the ground and I'm just.
Yeah, and you're just like
with the stick. Kicking him.
Yeah, you're smashing it into the ground. You're like smashing bits and pieces
In the
off of
most
it.
drunken, ridiculous.
It's really not looking awesome
Flurry.
at all. It's hurt. It's hurt. It's real hurt. It's like, and then it breaks out of its stun because that's how long.
Yes.
Until the end of your
Yes,
next turn.
because
Just like
no more shenanigans. I'll put away
not
my dice.
feeling great. Brandon is going to reach into his bag. He's gonna run his meager 25 feet. 25. Over here next to you, he's gonna give you a pat on the back, and he's gonna take a small object and huck it up towards the building.
No,
Bless you. Bless you.
that's all. That is all, folks.
What are you erasing?
There's schmutz.
There's nothing there.
There was schmutz.
You're just erasing nothing. We have to fill the silence while we do mouth
Cool.
rolls.
You see it just go ting, 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 and the gargoyle looks down, and then just a fireball explosion. This gargoyle is knocked down. It's gonna take
Brandon.
26 points of damage in total from the whole thing. This ledge, gone. Fucking exploded. I'm not gonna rip it off because
Break
it
it
looks
off.
sad in the corner.
You
But
probably could.
could I?
Try it.
Can you just tear the meso in half?
Ah!
Hey! Oh, Evan.
Falls. Sorry, Evan.
It's for the craft.
I condoned it.
Falls, landing on top of the Garg just in pieces. I will not call them gargoyles. I will only call them Gargs for what they have done to me and my family. 26
It was
points
Garg.
of damage to that Garg. That's the Garg that had already gotten that done to it, so that's good.
Not that done.
We have to get her done.
Not there.
You got that done to it, though.
Cool. So this Garg is looking fucked, straight up. Cool. And then Brandon is going, holy shite! And then reach back into his bag and take out just this little container. Kira.
Well, the last time didn't go too well, but that won't stop me from trying again!
You have advantage on your first attack roll. 'Cause I helped you.
Okay, first attack roll is 21.
21 will hit.
Beautiful. 6 damage, I'll mark it because that's what I do. That's all I do.
That's not all you do. It's most of what you do, though.
I'll hit it again. 16's a hit.
16 does hit, yeah.
And then that's 13 damage, second hit.
13 damage, second
Smash.
hit.
Smash.
So gross.
Yeah, you're using your longsword less of as a slashing weapon and more as a bludgeoning weapon.
Yeah.
To, like, you're hitting it with the hilt of your sword just to like chip off pieces of its thing. And you well, actually, one of them you sort of like hack it with the sword, and the second one you just slam it across the face with your shield. And you can see
It's just like scraping.
one of its veins just like snap off. It's not looking super happy. Oliver.
Is this guy still really high
He is
up?
80 feet above you.
Cool. I'm gonna get to my feet for 1,
Yeah, that's half your movement.
and I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on the guy next to you.
Cool. He has to make a save.
He has to make wisdom saving.
Natural 20. Sorry.
So that's good.
He may be beat to shit, but he's very wise.
I will never
cool.
enter into this situation again, in my wisdom.
That
For whom the Garg tolls.
Oliver does that and just sort of goes. That was good.
Okay, thank you.
Is that a title drop?
Maybe. We'll see.
Look above the video. It might be written there.
If I have my way. Alright, you just turn around and you hear bong, and then the gargoyle. You all sort of look over at Oliver, including the gargoyle. Nothing really seems to have happened.
I just sort of go.
Music isn't really your thing, huh?
And that's it.
Cool.
That's all.
Cool. Garg's turns. Garg 1 looks between the two of you. That's Garg 4. Garg 1 is this one. Garg 1, bam! Garg 1 is going to stand up and go in for another grapple. It's real pissed off at you now.
Let me make my acrobatics check.
I don't know why I rolled twice.
23.
You're
14!
smug.
Boom! And you just, you take your staff and you just swirl it in front of you and you knock its arms away and it's going to break away from you. So you can take an attack of opportunity if you want.
Yeah, sure. Hit it. That's all the numbers on attack of opportunity are the same as a normal attack.
Yeah.
That one.
You swing and your quarterstaff just goes. Like, damn. This time your drunken stupor was a little too real. It runs over to Brandon who goes, oh no! Garg 2 is real high up in the air. He's not sure what to do. He is going to fly over to here and down a little more. He's still floating in the air up over here. But he's not on this, he's up. Garg number 3 is going to make a strength check to come out from under that thing and fail it. He is trapped under the pillar. And Garg number 4 is going to look back and forth between you and go for a grapple on you. So athletics or
It's
acrobatics.
disadvantage on an attack.
Not an attack, it's a
Not
grapple.
a grapple.
Does it say attack in the text?
I think so.
Then it won't count.
Oh, 12.
Alright, 20. I'm going to grab you. Instead of flying with you, he's going to slam you into the ground and
Just
sort
a little
of
girl.
run you 5, 10, 15.
If he
Over to
leaves
here.
my...
You can take an attack of opportunity, yeah.
yeah, it's 23.
23, yeah, that hits. Roll that sweet damage.
6 damage.
6 damage. Cool. The 3 Gargs on the ground are looking pretty beat up at the moment. This one looking super fine. You are going to take 6 points of damage as he sort of drags you across the ground real hard. He's gonna look up at you, Wallace, who he's now right next to, and just.
I go.
Listen, if Gargs could be confused.
Are you still an elf?
No.
Oh no.
No.
That dropped immediately.
Hilarious.
The elk hit the ground and disappeared.
The elks hit the floor.
We could put that one in. That one's definitely not copyrighted if fucking early YouTube is anything to go by.
Yeah.
Alright, well, that's all the Gargs.
Me?
Yeah.
He's on me?
You are currently grappled, and he is holding your face into the ground.
I would like to break the graph.
Alright, go for it.
19.
That's one. You like reach up, but he takes his one of his arms and his other foot, and he just like pins your arm and leg to the ground.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all I got?
You are on the ground, Wallace.
Alright. So I messed up before about the Magic Stone.
Why?
It's because it's 1d6 plus my spellcasting ability mod. Right?
Oh, cool.
So I think I've done that for him.
2
But
plus whatever.
plus whatever, but it doesn't matter.
He's-
I'm just
that
saying
guy's
that for like
fucked anyway.
clarification. So I'm right next to one, right?
Oh yeah, and it's holding down Alyssa, right? Millie at this moment.
I'm gonna hit it.
You pull out your dragon tooth and boom, go for it. That's just what it's called.
That's gonna be a 3.
And
Oh wait, no.
6.
And it does not hit. As it looks up at you, it puts Millie down on the ground and then sort of looks over as you start to swing down, and its wings sort of buffets you backwards, and you stumble back, losing your momentum and missing. Anything else you want to do? Tavern.
Where'd my staff land?
Here.
How far away?
20 feet.
Okay, so I could retrieve it and then take an attack on that guard.
Probably, yeah.
My move speed's 45.
You're fine.
Yeah, alright, I'll retrieve the
God
staff.
damn it.
What?
Sonic the goddamn headshot. 10, 15, 20.
You ran over there. You can look at that.
I can't.
If you were tall,
25.
you could look at that. Alright, I'll take 2 attacks.
2 attacks, cool.
I roll the damage as we go.
Alright.
Okay. I got it. It's cocked.
Sure.
11.
11 misses.
Second attack.
He sort of ducks under it. You almost hit Brandon. He's like, fuck!
17.
17 will hit, yeah.
It's gonna do 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. You crack into the back. Definitely not as much as you'd hope, but
Alright,
certainly does it.
I'll throw 1 unarmed strike.
Cool.
this turn.
Punch a stone. See how it feels.
I've already done it a lot of times. This fight and last episode.
It doesn't feel great, but you're used to it.
That's unnatural 20.
Yeah, that'll hit.
More damage. 7.
7. So you swing once, it ducks under your blow, you swing around, hit it in the leg, and as it sort of reacts to this direction, you just sort of
Throw the knee.
Yeah, you throw the knee into its other leg. And its bits and pieces are falling off of it. One of its wings has like a hole in it at this point. It doesn't look like it can probably fly anymore. Not feeling great. Cool. Brandon is gonna look around, very worried. He's gonna take the little bag that he pulled out, throw it upwards, and he disappears.
Brandon.
What the fuck? London?
Brandon abandoned us.
Kira.
Am I
Under the
still
man.
the same one's on me, right?
Nope, it ran away.
It took me away.
You can like
yeah.
stand up a little bit so you can see where you are.
Okay, I guess I'll go over to the one next to Wallace. That is.
It's the one that you had marked previously, yeah.
Yeah.
It's now super surrounded.
I'll hit it.
Cool, go for it.
24.
24 will hit.
I'll just roll a second attack now too.
10.
10 won't hit.
9 damage. I'll remark it.
Cool.
That's all that I do.
That's not all you do. You've done a solid amount of damage here. Cool. You swing down. You drive your sword like hilt into the back of its head, and as you go for another slash around, its foot sort of kicks out towards you, and you have to jump a step back, so you lose your attack there. Garg 1 is looking confused at where its prey has gone. And is going to instead turn its attention towards you, who's been fucking with it. And it's going to take a bite and a claw attack on you. So the bite is 18, 19, 20, 22. Hits. Cool. So that is 3 points of damage. And the claw is 18 to hit.
Hits.
That is 3 more points of damage in total. As it bites into you and then claws across, it sort of like buffets you backwards with its wings and then like turns so over you're here and it's looking back and forth. And
This is the one that's like pretty messed up.
pretty messed up. I mean, the one under here is real fucked up. That one's real fucked up. That one's pretty fucked up, and this one's just chilling. Speaking of the one that's chilling, it is going to dash this direction. So it is now flying over here as though it is flying away in the direction of the cow right now. Or so actually it would be this way. So he's flying over this direction towards the cow. Still some 30-ish feet up. Cool, the one under here is going to try to get out from under its shit. It's still stuck. It's like struggling out from under this balcony, but it can't really do anything. The last one is going to make a strength check. Grab you, Millie, boom, and throw you towards Kira. So it's sort of like a spin around move. grabs you by the leg and the face and just into Kira. Kira, make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Yes.
You're going to have to get hit with a half elf.
Can I dodge this anymore? Is that something I can use my reaction for? In this scenario?
You are. I think you can use your action because you're grappled.
Okay.
7, cool. You both take 6 points of damage and are knocked prone. I'm gonna put you here.
Wait, which gargoyle was that?
The one you'd been attacking.
Did it?
Didn't make an attack, it just threw somebody at you.
How is that not an attack?
Well, it's an attack on you.
Oh,
with
using a
someone.
person. That's ridiculous.
It's gonna
This
look
is a
around.
loophole I did not expect.
It is now just looking straight at you, Wallace. Sort of chipped and like bits of stone crumbling off of it, just staring directly at you. Oliver.
How far is the guy flying from me?
He is 30 feet up and 60 feet out. 60, 90, I don't know. 30, 60, 90, right? Yeah, that's the one. 90 feet. It's a triangle, right?
I'm casting
Angles.
a firebolt at him as he's flying.
What's the
away.
range of firebolt?
100.
Yeah, you're fine. Okay.
Cool.
He hasn't been hit at all.
He's been hit a couple times. Brandon hit him in the
I'm just
foot.
gonna do one last
For
round.
one damage.
Because you can take this there, right?
Sorry, what are we doing?
You're fine to take this guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's not bad. 11?
11, that misses. Goes past him, sort of Endeavor and MHA style. He's going after the Nomu, you know. Your fireball goes flying past as it sort of dodges out of the way quickly.
Right. Can I can't cast another spell, right? Alright, I'm
That's
good.
your action. You're feeling a little useless despite, as the Garg next to you sort of like, if a gargoyle could look like it was disappointed in an enemy, it's like,
I know. It was difficult, okay? Can you cast magic?
Okay. Millie.
Did you prefer
Yes.
I'm gonna stand up.
Okay, have your movement.
Please, my other half to get to that guard.
You're up on it already.
I'm up on it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna-
Your moment, you didn't go far. You slammed into a wall of fucking bronze and you hit the ground.
I'm gonna bucket.
Bronze
Alright.
wall.
Bronze wall.
The bucket. Oh. You bucketed it?
Yeah.
I bucketed it 15.
15, just hits.
Yes!
Whoa.
Just hits.
This is
Millie takes her rapier, thrusts her dagger under it, and uses the momentum from the dagger to boom, right up into the mouth of the gargoyle.
That's so cool.
And with that, the rapier goes into the mouth of the gargoyle on the top half of its head. It's just like, and then you pull to the side out, and it just bursts open the side as the gargoyle slumps to the ground, motionless.
I'm gonna bonus action help Wallace.
Cool. You just
I'm
pat
just-
Wallace on the back a little bit.
You got this, buddy. Thank you. You're
So
welcome.
there's one
Speaking of
under
which,
a column,
Wallace.
and there's one surrounded.
And there's one
running away.
flying in this direction.
I'm gonna get my sling out again, and I'm gonna cast magic stone on the stone, and I'm gonna fling a stone at the one that's flying away.
What's the range on your sling?
It's 60, I think.
You won't be able to hit it.
Okay, it says 30/120. I don't know what that means.
You can make an attack at disadvantage to see if you
But
can
you
hit
have
it.
advantage on your first attack, so it'd just be a straight
Oh, straight roll, yeah, go for it.
Sorry. 21.
21, that'll hit!
Nice.
Yeah, what was? Okay, so we're gonna
So
kill
Wallace,
Wallace.
boom, like impossibly far for a sling, and then it right in the back of the head.
Some David.
We're gonna
Goliath.
calculate damage correctly
Every
this
time
time,
Blake points over there, I was
which is
no, it's just a closet.
Right, we're not actually in game.
Oh, shit.
5 plus 8 damage.
Cool, 8 damage.
Thank you.
Typer!
There's still one near me?
Yeah.
Let's hit him.
Kill him.
Cool.
All I do is hit things. 18 to hit.
That'll hit. Roll your damages.
Yep. 7.
Yep, that's dead. You slam him, ram him, and just the head crumbles.
Cool. Is that not one under a pillar?
Yeah, there's one.
Is he still in combat?
Technically, yeah. Combat could end right now if you wanted it to. Not you, but everyone.
I'll run over and hit it. Tapper's not the brightest. he just hits things. Alright, so the second attack. That's a 14.
Nope, misses. You're having trouble getting to it.
Bonus action, I'll try to kill it.
Oh, you get advantage
Isn't
though
he?
because he's prone.
Ah, advantage.
Yeah.
Alright, so that.
So 2 more d20s.
I'll roll 2 more d20s. That's 20.
Yeah, that'll. You know what? Don't even roll damage. It's fucked.
Okay, it's fucked.
You go in there and you just sort of stick your staff into the rubble and eventually you see bits of gargoyle just come flying out.
Bits of gargoyle.
Gross.
Bits of gargoyle in her hair.
Cool. That's that. This one continues to double dash until it's pretty much out of sight. Yeah, we'll lose track of that one. And since I didn't engage time very well, that is where we're gonna take a break. I will see you guys all in like 15-ish minutes, and I will see you guys in a couple of days. Thanks for partying with us in the party dungeon. Woo!
Woo!